the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee? I live inside my make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Welcome everybody to another GLOBEX Open. I'm the Sith Trader. Thank you for joining me. We had a fun day session there. Pretty good trading in the newer session, in fact. Get the charts open and I just got back from a run, so I'm a little behind to get my charts open for the evening, but you know, we got 10 minutes to spare, right? The nice thing about this, I know at 5 p.m. you don't have to be sitting there in front of the machine, you're just kind of waiting for this opening range to play out, right? With all that being said, everything we talk about here today is just my own opinion and not a direct trade recommendation. Trading features involves risk and is not suitable for everyone, so many of you that are here though have started to identify their risks and we're all wanting to do better. All that being said, it's a pretty good actually structure for the opening range so far already. We've kind of chopped around a little bit, picking up more or less where the day session left off. We were really, the market find, backable that day session VWAP. Arguably we're above both yesterday's VWAP and yesterday's lows. I'm kind of watching the market right now for basically this trend line that's been like holding all throughout the day. Not that I'm like trading off of that alone here. And then we got very 7 minutes in this opening range already tested that trend line. So, okay, we'll see what the market provides here shortly.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head.
What's up, everybody? What's up, SoCal Nico? I hope you made it to the library wherever you are trading from safe and sound. Got a little bit of a bearish undertone right now. I would actually prefer to see the market kind of bounce back up. And not necessarily test the highs, but, you know, like, just give me a little more chop and then break lower you come. But I don't hate this market structure. You know, I kind of identified this trend line from throughout the day that, okay, if we break below it, then we come back up to kind of test the trend line with the VWAP here. Not like a terrible setup, right? I like to see confluence amongst CDs been basically bearish here since the open, so and it's kind of bearish all day today. There's definitely some sellers in the book. Keep an eye out on that. It'd be nothing I'm gonna like to radically change my opinions on the markets, right? Although I'll be the first one to tell anyone that I definitely favor the longs while you're, you know, kind of pressing about 35 a second. You know, just you can't, like, I don't know. Kind of excited though. I am getting close to passing a eval here over at Breakout. I haven't done an eval there for a while. Did a new 100K. Basically need to break below 74,000 here. I'll get rid of. To be able to pass this thing, I've locked in like half the profit target in one of these pros. But I'm hoping for a flush under 4,000 here to pass this thing. That'll be a fun day for me. Haven't had a breakout account in a while. It kind of took a break. They got expensive, and now they dropped the prices by considerable amount. Like 20 and 30% across the board. I mean, that's just like, it's a huge discount. Those are always kind of expensive accounts. But now, if you're going to trade crypto, by all means, that's kind of the way I like to do it. I'm not counting this just yet as the 10-minute overnight break, right? It's a bit of a head fake kind of move so far. We get one little punch lower, you know, like I just want like another punch here. And, you know, it's going to give us that, or give me the, okay, there we go. Now I'm feeling a little more comfortable about this short. The one thing I don't like about this short right now, and it's not really for me to decide, right? But like, I don't love how the stop and the one-to-one risk is about the highs of the day. So like, I'm just going to use the highs of the day. Because if it goes up, trades the view up, and it goes through the highs, like, I mean, breaks kind of the whole notion of what I want to see. So, like to see a close down here, not just like straight back up. Well, of course it's going to. We have 15 seconds. Technically, this is a close below, and you know what? Yesterday it provided a setup that I sat out of. So I don't know if I want to like miss out on that today. Even though it's not like the perfect, you know, technically it's a close below. It's a bit of a fake out. I don't want to say fake out, but you know, it's a bit witchy into that lull. But let's see. I guess technically sell up to 0 and 06s here, huh? Just gotta suck it up and do it. No, there's a reason I should back off the trade. I mean, again, this is I've adapted my trading here to not be as rigid, right? We're going to be I can adjust the limit order as needed here. As this, okay, and see now we're getting a little bit more of that, like breakdown that, okay, sellers are maybe trying to do something with this. So let's see. VWAP still up above us here. This point's probably about 150 weight target. Get the VWAP coming in at like 102.75, probably per quarter or 102 quarter or something. Just because it's going to move a little bit by the time it gets up there. Downside target, new lows of the day. Wow, we're starting to get up in that 140 area. Oh, I better put my... Wow. Better put my... Where is it? Chart. There we go. Let's take a look here. You watch now down to like 101. Probably like 150. My entry target. Let's get that low of the day on the chart. We're still at negative CVD coming in on the day. We're going to look at volume profiles here a little bit. the Vine profile candles to give us a little extra look at participation. Try to find a bit of a confluence if we can. Low in the day becomes a target on the trade for those that those have been here before. Entry is of course open to the VWAP. It's 143 ticks wide, which of course puts a stop right up at the highs of the day, so that's kind of okay for me. There's a 140. I'll just have to adjust. I got a 130. I'll use that 130 ATM for myself and just kind of adjust the targets if I get a fill. Making sure my copy trader actually is on right now because I turned it off earlier today. For the later day session trades. We have a chat who's here. So I'm pretty fluent on that Saber. Great question. How do you find it? How you in that new terminal? I'm pretty fluent with it. I was a Kraken Pro customer for, since 2015. So I've been with Kraken for over 10 years. So I'm really familiar with the thing. Finally they made adjustments. I like it way better. I wish you could do more with the dollar values, knowing where you're at to trade. And I wish I could see on the screen how much, the stop loss might be, oh, that's locking in $1,000. I'd like to see that. I don't care that it's locking in 1%, but I love the fact that, and I gotta adjust the futures trade real quick. Oh shoot. Futures trade real quick here, and then I'll go over and take a look at that for you because I do have some other comments to make on that. So I guess I gotta drag this down to 99s. I'm a seller at 99s basically. Front running it a little bit, but I think I can live with that. And it's a 137 risk-ish. Here it comes. I'm a little nervous about these, and I definitely don't want this to drop without me here, without giving anything. One more push up there into the figure. Hopefully I can get a fill. Oh, come on. I almost pulled it in at 5 points, but I'm going to be patient here. She's like, oh man, it's not going to give me a fill. Gotta be patient. Let's see. They run this VWAP right now. It's basically the same as off the highs. Oh, no, it's not. It really did trade it already, didn't it? Come on, I might just go short one here. But my rules say stay true to any boy. That's unfortunate. I don't think I'm going to get an entry on that. Yeah, I like it way more than DX Trader for sure. Oh, that's unfortunate. See, now, now you push up into the VWAP, but I feel a little less safe about it, but it's got to kind of jump up into it now or never for me. Not to say never, but it's on you go down to a 25 tick chart here, and I can make a case for how I am, or how we're trading into a bit of a trend line off the low. And if we crack this, I kind of think you'd go down to lows of the day, but we're not going to force a trade here. And what I hate is off the highs, you held that VWAP. Not so far. So let's be patient here and see what happens. Yesterday, it really break down and then came all the way through highs. Actually, yesterday it provided, if you were following yesterday's trading, it actually, did provide a force sweep along when it finally marked at the old target over there. When it finally did break out above the opening range, it to kind of fake out slower. When it finally did break through the opening range, it took me out on a full stop on it. When it finally didn't get, there's definitely like there was a long, like a total force sweep long that traded. What can you do, right? 2020 hindsight's everything, but the concept is there. It's just a matter if it plays out to the rules that we dictate. Okay, let's see if it gets a push-up into that 98 quarter area. Need one push-up, come on. Love to see that pop and drop, and then that be it for the day, right? And then I'm basically we all get to go home happy. Don't make dinner, whatever we had going on tonight. I still went for a 3-mile run right before this opened, so I am dying for a shower right now, but little stuff. All right, I wanted to take a second and kind of look at that participation on volume here. Not sure what we're going to see. So light, look at this. Right, that's a good push in 180 contracts, but on the way down to 422 at the lows there. 280, 310, yeah, so like 338, 323, so like the volume back up here is really anemic relative to that selling pressure we saw on that opening kind of push. So, I mean, I'd love to see one more push up into that VWAP to fill me on lighter volume again, and then hopefully the market then takes out, swings down and takes out lows. I mean, I'm super tempted to pull one in here. Super tempted. It's just patience. Yo, I'm getting short. Hope that filled all my... It did. Alright, well, I aggressively pulled one in here. But sure, it's a guaranteed reason it's going to go 10 points higher against me. But, I can deal with it. I hear it's going to come up and give you a better entry than what I just did. I can almost promise you that, right? Like, for those that are unaware of the way this trade kind of works, right? You wait for a 10-minute opening range, an ORB break, or the opening range break. In this case, it was lower this evening. And we're looking to get short into the day session or GLOBEX session VWAP, which comes in around the 30,097 area. We're getting reaction off of the anchored VWAP from highs of the day, and this is kind of an aggressive sell. I see us pushing below or trying to push below this trendline support, so like, for me, this is kind of an entry signal. I'm unfortunately shaving about $200 of potential profit off my trade. I mean, I guess I do have my targets down below the lows of the day, so if we do punch there, probably could still take a 130 point or tick target here. But I'm also going to be very aggressive at trailing my stop now because I don't want to see, hopefully it pushes down to the lows of the day. I mean, that's basically still $400 winner, $400 winner for me. So my goal will be to basically just trail it down and try to lock in, 30,065 lows of the day. If it can get there. But don't love saying is that now that we've broken below that trend line that I was kind of talking about, it has not respected it. So I'm fearful it's going to give me another push up now, where I didn't see the VWAP where I probably could have gotten a better entry. And I hope many of you are being more patient than I today. Seem to never have good luck when I break my rules. Okay, here we go. There we go. I am going to probably bring my stop down to break even here very shortly. I'd like to see one more push. Alright, my stop's at break even, so I can't lose on this trade at least. Oh boy, it's going down to the lows of the day. Oh my god, where's my trade? Where's my stuff going? Need to make this section a little bigger for myself. Wow, don't pop up. I would have taken that profit. They probably trail my stop down to lock in some gains here to like 75 3/4 if it starts to push the low of the day. And then I'm going to try to trail my stop to the low of the day. Okay, my stop's at 69, 66.5. I'm basically locking in 50.47.5. I'm basically locking in my $400 target. There's probably going to be a setup like another ForceSweep after this, but and I'll call it out. We'll look at it. Don't take me out. Come on. Just tick me. All right. Well, I'll take that for an opening trade on the day. That's a solid point target. I see no reason why another move up into the VWAP isn't still valid. Kind of front run us there, and these types of setups happen. But little trader's intuition there, and what we've known about that anchored VWAP from the highs. Let's give a rundown of why I took, the 85, 75 short or whatever that was. I'm sure it's going to go frickin' to the floor now. Oh man, there it goes, right in my target. Right in my actual target. I could have had another target point on that. That's all right. Yeah, and by all means, don't press it. We've had some really good day sessions, so join me tomorrow for the Nicey Open. We'll talk and do it there. We'll do it all again tomorrow. You know what I mean, guys, ladies and gentlemen. But as of right now, we've got negative CVD on the book, right? It's been basically selling pressure all day, or all GLOBEX session. That anchored session VWAP is what held as resistance. I still see a very valid, potential GLOBEX ForceSweep if it pulls up into that level, but we'll see. I'd hate for it to become a day like yesterday where it just starts squeezing though. So that one for me was kind of a bonus to some extent, but I would imagine we get a pushback up there, you're going to get a reaction of some sort. But if we really start to kind of head lower here, I do think it's the type of trade where it'll be a little more passive. Maybe won't take it, might shut down in the evening. Because I was kind of a quick tough because it didn't follow the exact letter of the law for the trade, right? Technically speaking, we don't have a ForceSweep set up yet, which is the big reason why I'm continuing to watch this, because there may be some more money to be made on accounts I want to build buffers and or pass. there's a really good chance now, if it just keeps going, it's not gonna give us something. We've been here before. You know, anything outside of it, you know, quick range here, I'm not really interested in taking all too much. I'm not up for pressing my luck all too much today. Again, that was a little bit of trader's intuition there on that setup, so I can understand how it was that Smitty sat that one out. But again, the anchored VWAP from the highs, presenting the same kind of sale. Got a trend line that was testing it about to break. Negative CVE. Any other time of the day, I'm taking that trade. Doesn't, you know, just because it's an GLOBEX session doesn't mean that scenario doesn't work out. I gotta figure out a name for that kind of trade. I mean, it's just a go with momentum. Oh man, come on. All right, now, so if you're gonna break down, at least pull Bitcoin down to like down below 74,000. Don't let me pass that eval. Come on. Nice job, Scott. Love to see it. Yeah, nice flush out of the lows. It's going to be a big bounce if and when it happens. We'll see. Technically speaking. I mean, the spirit of the law, right? Kind of traded a front run. And genuinely, everybody, that was the trade we wanted. That initial sell after the first 10 minutes, right? Hopping on the momentum lower. I mean, now that we're breaking below yesterday's VWAP, you're below that trend line from the day, you are into this kind of old range highs. I mean, there is not much support on the charts until you get down here towards these lows, if I'm being perfectly honest, which put you way down there, down to 29,882. So now you're below yesterday's day session VWAP. I mean, does not look good for the bulls. Which again, needs to still some confidence that this is a short, and there's a short to be had here. I just don't know how we're going to bounce all the way back up there. But when it happens, right? We've seen this trade before. 236 ticks wide. It's a nice big one. Better put your stops above the highs of the day, though. I don't always love that type. But you know what? Puts me as a seller into 83s at this point. It feels way out there. But I also moved this to 100 tick chart. 225 is fine for this time of day, but all right, we got a little bit for that market to come on back up and meet us. So I am here, shoo away any. Nice work, Scott. I mean, those consistency targets, like, they're not your worst enemy. A lot of people hate them, but the truth is they make you a consistent, profitable trader sometimes. Like, you know, it makes you quit when you should. And that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Nice. Well, hopefully it is doing well for you. All right, let's see how this plays out and develops here. It's going to be a while for it to get up there. I'm going to go start making some tacos. I'm around. Shoot any questions into the chat, folks. We'll see what the rest of the night brings.
traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tears. We set down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my fatherland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club. I remember the ocean, memories die out too hard. But we were traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tears. We sat down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island.
Also, the number one rule of prop firm trading is always take the payout. There's no reason to try to build insane buffers and take the risk of losing it all. Trust me, been there, done that, folks. You've given up so much money in payouts by just being a jackass trying to pay out max. I mean, at least I could afford to make those risks and be stupid. Not to say that that's a reason to do it. It really isn't, but in my case, at some firms, I kind of have to because they're going to take me live. If I don't try to get as much as I can before that moment, right? That's part of the game to some extent, but I do not suggest other people play it that way. And honestly, in 2020 hindsight, I tried to build buffers on my Apex and stuff during that time frame, and it ended up biting me in the ass. Okay, here we go. A little bit of a short squeeze. Little bit of a short squeeze up into that VWAP. Let's see what happens. Oh, come on. Are they finding? Good. See, the anchored VWAP from the highs and that new one from the lows is coming in a very similar area. So I think it's pretty safe to say if we push up into this 80 figure, I'm working at 79s right now. VWAP's technically, they're bringing in one tick, 78, 75. Basically 210 tick risk. Your 210 tick target. For those unfamiliar with how this trade works, it's pretty simple. A 10-minute opening range or some kind of opening range sets up in the market. We wait for that opening range break, and then we look for the very first test of the session anchored VWAP. Just anchored VWAP at the open of the GLOBEX session, that's all it is. Sometimes, as we saw earlier, you might get the anchor from a high or the low of the day, and that was kind of the first trade there. I walked myself into that one based off of a couple things we were seeing. But the true ForceSweep setup right now hasn't traded in his, basically move up into this 30,000 80 figure, retest of that opening range low, 10-minute opening range low, interestingly enough, as well as the GLOBEX session VWAP, right? Stop is simply 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio with that target, which is a low of the day. And check out Lucid to get 50% off and use that code SITH. Right? You know, and that's where these EMAs, I mean, so I'll be the first one to tell you guys. One thing, when you look at this chart right here, this chart is a 100-tick chart, and I've got basically the 9, 21, and 50 EMAs on it. Those are my favorite 3. And I kind of use them like Ichimu clouds. And actually, so this is one of those charts that you don't see that's open and over my side. It's like a 100-tick chart with these EMAs on it that I use all the time. It's got the VWAP on it, right? And then the 3 EMAs that end up becoming really good, you know, more or less some kind of like, what do you call them? Flag setups, right? Right now, if I see an opportunity at short below 30, 45s, I think it'll push up to 77s, and they'll kind of do this against this bear flag here. But nevertheless, right, it's another chart I look at. It works better more for the day session, but 9, 21, and the 50, the 12, so long as they fit into, well, there you go. What am I doing? There we go. So when they fit into your trade plan, right? They're all tools to try to tell you a little bit more about the market and market price action. At the end of the day, this is just a game of probabilities and statistics. Nothing works 100% of the time. That for my venture down to 77.5 here. The little front of that 78 VWAP at this point. Then it's still, you know, 206 hit target, I guess, but oh, it's not going to go. That is it. I'll be pretty sure with this. I mean, again, if it flushes the lows, and that's way, way lower here, it's not going to make a huge difference for a guy like me. I just want to see ForceSweep going it down to below 74,000 or 74,000, but that would pass that eval. I got faith. I'd love to see the NASDAQ trade up into my GLOBEX session. VWAP first. It just happens to align with that opening range low right now, folks. It's not a level I kind of like when it does that. All right, we got a little bit of a flag here as well. Same angle to it too. It's 45-degree angle better flags on like 100-tick charts. Not that that is the reason I trade, but oh man, it's tempting to get short if it breaks the low, but I'm not going to press my luck tonight, because I know tomorrow's going to be another good session of trading. All right, give that one push up here, and then drop it. One more here at 77.5. Let's see if that's good enough to get a fill here. Not sure I love this trade if it ended up breaking the lows here, but we'll see. Gotta pull this down now to 76 core or something on that entry. Tightening up the risk on this trade a little bit. Okay, 202. Watch straight up into the VWAP, then straight back down. Quick. Quick 20-point burst. Fill me. And then 40 points lower. Yeah, it's funny when you see technicals battle it out, isn't it? coming back up. See, is just flatlining, but it's like it's good to see it not just spiking up massively, right? In some theory, my dear. Okay, we're coming up quick here. I'm working at 75s. Kind of pull this down to 74 quarter. Just, I want to get filled. Don't regret that. Let's see here. That's at like 75 quarter is the actual model. I'm worried about that is again. To the tick. Alright, let's see if it doesn't give me that one next push here. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull it in here. I'm getting a little aggressive, and this is mainly because it wishes to reaction off that day session VWAP again. I don't necessarily suggest you take that extra risk like I just did, but it's the day session VWAP once again getting anchored, the VWAP anchored from the highs. Probably gonna get a push up to the actual GLOBEX VWAP here. But given the nature, this is an old broken trend line, now resistance kind of thing. What you don't see is the volume profile here, which I'll show you in a second. And the reason why I think here could be a trap set. But basically the whole way up here, you trade the most amount of buyers into that VWAP, and they just can't push. It's like a failed auction. On this little bit of a volume spike. Now the market needs to push down, basically break below 50s to kind of clear and head lower, and probably then sweep to the lows of the day. And then at that point, like, I'm not going to sit around and wait for another VWAP to trade again and force, late in the trade. Because today, the algos we were trading, this is attaching to the anchor, anchor from the highs VWAP. It's very clear. We got reactions from it earlier. You see it again. I would not be surprised to see it push up to the GLOBEX session VWAP though. Kind of still trade there. But, first we'll see. I'm going to be aggressive with my stop on this too. But again, a little bit of trader intuition here kind of coming into play on this trade for me and my entry. Even though it's not the one we're broadcasting right there at the VWAP. Sometimes you just trust the gut, what you're seeing in real time, because the context that we're trading, right? Opening range break, lower, trade a mean reversion for sweep to new lows, trade a mean reversion for sweep to new lows. Like the trade is there, even though it didn't get to the technical or sweep, right, entry. You can see how this is conceptually the trade, right? And that's what's important. Right, so they're gonna push up from the VWAP here. I feel for everybody who's sitting there waiting for this trade, which by all means it's still a take if we get to that VWAP. I just didn't force it myself, or force it a little early. Well, I will admit this is very reminiscent of what we saw earlier. In terms of the kind of reaction from that day session, or that anchor high, comes up for a little bit of a second test, right? And then now if it pushes below 52, 50 area, I think it's going to be quickly down to new lows, and we'll see. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, I'm taking the street in the nicely session, so why wouldn't I do it here? I mean, I would have been so far been left kind of waiting for my own setup. Short 62 or something. 1275 on it. They're a weird stop up there. We'll see. Obviously getting out break even here. For instance, if I was smart, then re-entering. We stop with a high and then re-entering 10 higher. That'd be a smart thing to do. Rather than take unnecessary risk, but we'll see. Trusting my gut today. All we can do as traders, at least, not to say that when you have the experience I do, but where's the value in my experience if I don't trust it? And I was willing to accept the extra 10 points of risk. In theory, right, to hit the trade I would like to hit. Let's see what happens when you get below 50s, 30,050. I think it's game on for me, but right now they're really fighting to stay up there. We could take a look at those little volume profiles and what I want to see now.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head because there are so many things that I left unsaid. I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality.
Actually, the prudent thing for me to do is actually get out of this trade. But if we do break above those highs, where we go like any higher and re-enter. So I'm going to put my stop at 67s here. If they get me, so be it, they get me. But then I would also be doing that with an order in here for the ForceSweep at 74. And change, which is only a little higher, which it's kind of silly for even getting out and back in, but it's also a little silly to take unnecessary risk and force something that's not happening. I was kind of expecting that flush out already. Oh wow, Bitcoin's coming down. Let's go, baby.
My heart
Totally unrelated, right?
like an ocean in
But what happened?
my head.
There we go. Totally unrelated. But again, we get down to that 74,000 level. I'm passing this breakout account. We'll see what happens. Hey, I like the 67 stop. I don't know. Second I open my mouth, I swear to God. Okay. You come up and almost get me. Alright. They got me. I'll get back in on the break of the trend line below 54s. Or on that push up into the 74 area. Heck, I'm going to be getting right back in. I shouldn't have gotten out. That was silly. Genuinely, I don't know why I bothered getting out on this one. Because I am back in the market. Oh no. But there we go. Now I'm filled at 72s. Now we're in the trade. Now the GLOBEX ForceSweep has traded. Now let's talk about Alright, that's it. Don't know why I forced it the first time, but we're in the trade we want to be in now. Hopefully it works out. I really want to see this market push back below 60s, the 50s obviously. Watch this 15-minute candles. The real break will be down below 44, 45. Hopefully this is it. I don't want to see this squeeze up. But this is definitely your fill. If you're not filled before, congratulations. Alright, so it's 180, risk for 190. Stock for 2150 for now. Downside target of a new low of the day at 2650. And the rest is up to market gods. Want to see this sloping trend line break, take us lower. CBD bounced back up here. It's been building. Let's actually take a moment and look at the volume and participation into this bubble. You kind of want to see that absorption, you know, reason somebody, or somehow, some way somebody getting trapped, or, you know, just waning volume into the level. And then, you know, we want to see one of those big slamming candles with like 200 contracts to send us off of this and that reaction of sellers lower. And then you start to go below trend line support, and then you get panic selling, you know, as people start liquidating longs because what a long trend they bought into on the way up has not failed. But that's a lot of talking before we have any kind of confidence in this trade really working. But you can see our vibes are pretty light on the way up. Anything over, you know, 180 to 200 contracts is pretty big for right now. But we had a 198 attempt to break into that. And then basically, I would call this 95 contracts up here, failed auction into the highs. And now we want to see, this is not too much volume coming off of it. We want to see the next couple minutes. We're really trying to take it lower. We'll roll us over and head down to that target, not lower the day. Classic ForceSweep till at play right now. Bonder tick charts are fantastic. I use them all the time. Trend lines are clearer on them. Price action is less distorted. When you take time out of the equation, it doesn't distort price as much. You'll find things like moving averages and trend lines are way clearer. I've been using tick charts for 20 years now. Well, maybe not, maybe 15. The 18, so it's like 2010. That's 15 years, 16 years. We'll let this play out a little bit. Stops are in, targets are in. Again, break below this trend line is the next kind of signal for lower. If you sat this tree out and didn't get a fill, then that would be the next secondary entry right there. I think the breaks in the downside, so we'll see. I love that we're just kind of flirting up here with the VWAP. We're seeing nice near volume push lower, get some reaction lower, and entice the selling pressure to begin.
white, eating rotten apples. Dirty bass that be coming at you. Roller coasters like a supernova. Around the ringmaster, this my tabernacle. See you screaming, I'm like, what for? Oh, you pop? Yeah, I got popcorn. I don't wake up on the wrong lawn, so we won't stop. It's a lost cause. Take a look through the peephole. Yo, everybody's getting geek, bro. Stop the hate and let them leaks know that we turn the club into a freak show. Turn the club to a freak show. Turn the club to a freak show. Turn the club, yeah, we turn the club to a freak show. Turn the club into a freak show.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Oh man, I hate these trades that don't just go straight to target. I'm going to bring my entries, my stop down to entry. What's up, little boy? I got my little man with me. Come here. Wait. No. Okay. He's running off. I'm going to be pulling the stop probably down to break even. I'm feeling silly not taking profits or something on it, right? This is fine. I know you want your dada. Got my little almost 2-year-old with me right now. Sorry about the baby jabber. Yeah, come on. Hate this bid we're getting in Bitcoin too. I gotta go take care of something. I need to tell my wife when I'm busy, I'm busy. Because it costs us money when we do this. But Sam's probably going to come down to break even, or I'm going to trail it down to the highs here recently to try to, this recent high here, maybe at 63, 64, if it, yeah, I got to break the stop down to break even to 71, 75 for myself. Hopefully it doesn't come up and get me. There we go, there's a nice push low. Oh no. That sucks. Yeah, it's gonna come up and get us now. That's it for that trade, it feels like. Hot. Nothing pisses me off more than being distracted by my family. Yep, there he goes. Stopped at break even. Alright, folks, well, that's it for me. Definitely not, well, we'll see what this does on a second test. Down. Well, I'm just living right now, but whatever. I don't even know what the hell that move was here. I'm gonna get short again if we get back below the 70 figure. And back below this VWAP. Basically re-entering the trade, head to this outbreak even. Not convinced by this bid up here. There's only 443 contracts and we're waiting. But this is accepting what could be deemed acceptance above the VWAP. But making him a same old trade, we'll see. But baby, and go straight on down to targets here. That was the 1 hour that move was. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's just good defense, right? Like, not going to be pig-headed. Market's coming back off the levels I was anticipating it getting a reaction from. They'll get back above the VWAP and start screaming higher here. I mean, genuinely, you should probably trail my stop down to the 80. But we're going to be mindful that we're going to stop at 20s or target down there 20 below the low, which is a little more than it should be asking for, but we'll see. A CVD here on this push. Look at the order book, just unfazed by that rally. Right up into resistance again and getting a reaction. At the end of the day, this has just been good defense. You know, I took a little stop on that early trade, got stop break even, but ideally this fade up was just, that looked like manhandling in the market. Somebody else wanted their fill before they take it lower. And sure enough, here he comes. So, praise be, all that ends well, or all is well that ends well in trading. Boy, does it feel good to have you vindicated yet again. I mean, stop's got to come down to that high at 81. Let's put my stop at 81. It's going to come down to break even here again. We're coming down close into this target area. I don't want to not get a target fill. At lows of the day. After all that is said and done. Oh my God, I can't even get the order in there at the right level. What is wrong? It's 2650. But I'm going to be, 3 bars back here. I'm going to try to start trying to stop that shit blocking some gains. I'd hate to see this come all the way back up. But at the end of the day, that's defense, right? Like, I've got a really good trade on. A lot of profit on the table. Shouldn't give anything back. It's a bit of an expanding range here. If you look, like, you've kind of went up, went down, went up, went down, went up again and down. Now you should flush the lows. That is what I would expect and anticipate here. But, Ziska 88, that's one of the kind of things I've adapted to in this GLOBEX force trade on stream, is being a little more defensive in the strategy and the idea that, hey, would you get the move lower, stops break even, you can always get back in on that move back below the VWAP and flush out. Right now, I mean, we really should flush this 40 figure here any second now. And basically just get target filled. There's no way it's going to not fill us here. In fact, I almost want to take like a little extra, you know, see if it gives me another 26 points down, because I am going to pull a stop down here really aggressively. I don't care, my stop's at 36s. Eat this, there you go. Stop's going to go down to 35s. Could be aggressive against these highs here. Again, I'm looking for a little bit more than that low of the day, so I'm going to be trailing it aggressively if I don't get stopped right here, which I'm totally fine with. Locking in this trade and just being done for the day, even missing out on the last $200, that could happen. And if I had a winner early, right? Alright, I'm out. Okay, real close to the target there. I think it's going to get a fill, but I'm not going to chance it for myself, and they're coming all the way back up, guys. I got a big Bitcoin position on that coming down into lows too. I want to watch. I do believe we're going to flush this low and probably be heading down deeper into this range here at this point, but for me, that does it for the day. How did this get up there? That's weird. But, you know, I'll stay on stream here and kind of talk through what we're seeing and see what happens. So, you know, man, plus 900 and basically plus $1,000 today. That's not a bad day session, GLOBEX session at all. Oh, it's coming back up. I would not be surprised to see it come back up to test this trend line as resistance before another push lower. But that's a W for me. Anyone else on the stream did this one? Who else was with us, right? Well, we got a few in here tonight, but it's fun. It's funny. I've been trading pretty well the last few days, and the stream has gotten less and less people viewing it. It's just funny. It's just I need to get picked up by the Aldo. Nice. I love this. There it comes back down into lows with flushed out low. Yeah, to linger. They works on the S2. Nice work, SoCal. I mean, yeah, Zachary, love to hear it. Yeah, you know, like, SoCal Nico is disappointed in the win, right? I hear you. I feel that. I've been there before, right? Where you gotta like just start sitting with what the market gives you, because it's not always like, here, I'm shorted myself $200, you know, basically it's gonna go down and hit that target. Oh, wow. I hear it talking, it's 10 points straight up, but like, we'll see. Come on, Bitcoin. Trying to make it low for the day. Don't quit there. And I do think the Nasdaq's gonna hit it here. I'm just kind of respectfully staying in stream for y'all. I want to make sure this really flushes the low, right? Everybody's filled then, but at the end of the day, this is all we can ask for is, you know, it's like, you don't know exactly what the market's going to do, so you gotta plan around it and accordingly to whatever it gives you, and then be willing to sit with that, right? Like, and that might be a break-even day. It might be a one-loss day. It might be a 2-hour day. You know, I just, when you've been doing it for long enough, you find it easier to remember that like tomorrow's another day where more opportunity exists. And that's kind of me dating myself in terms of saying I'm an old man trader. But there's truth to that, right? That's where experience can teach you to be okay with whatever the outcome. And believe it or not, I don't want to call it a therapist, but I definitely went to like a coach back in the day, up for, she's actually excellent. Her name's Jody Michael. She's a licensed therapist, but she helps traders specifically help you unlock that psychological hurdle that you might be under or going through. And the whole concept and it really comes down to like having to just accept the fact and the idea that the game is not meant to be win or lost. It's meant to be played, right? You need to focus on playing the game. Focus on the execution. Focus on the defensive strategies when you need them. Because the wins will come when you focus on your process, not the results. And that's the whole concept there. And that was a mental game changer for me when I became okay with sitting with bad days and trading because it's just part of the game. You're never going to find success in this. You can always give into those emotional roller coasters, right? And you know what? If you assured yourself on this trade like I did, you know, you didn't get enough of it, I'm still going to celebrate the fact that the strategy worked. It went to target, and it only bolsters my resolve to follow it and respect the idea that, you know, these things work out on a long enough time frame if you keep working with that edge. And that's true edgeful trading. It's not. You know, it's understanding the game of averages over the long run here. All right, one more flush lower to fill this thing. I could shut the stream down and go out and enjoy some tacos. But man, we'll be back with y'all tomorrow for the NYSE Open as well. We've been crushing the day session. I want to keep doing that because these night sessions, you can see how it's slow. It's a little more tempoed, slower tempo. But you can still apply the same ideas and strategies. You just gotta adjust your the expectations. Vince Brilliant's My Life Story. No, I actually haven't seen that show in its entirety. I need to watch it. My Life Story is a little bit more like I don't want to say the Wolf of Wall Street, but not gonna lie. Not that I made millions of dollars like he did trading. I've definitely made a good living for myself and my family, but never to the tens of millions of dollars that he did in those movies. But he was also kind of crooked. But the stories I have to tell are a lot more like Wolf of Wall Street. But I will write a book someday. Pulling from my own personal experiences as well as just plenty in this industry that have had wilder rides than I have. God, I'm telling you the stories I could tell. It's so much, so crazy. Alright, but the stories I will tell you eventually if you stick around and hear for fucking enough. I do have to get running now. I'm pretty confident we're going to get that flush lows. In fact, I think it's going to probably flush below 30,000 again here. If I had to be a betting man. But the fact that we're bottling up here, it's not a bad place. If you didn't take a profit yet, you're being obstinate and looking for it. You'll waste, all this trade. Book a profit trail that stopped down against these highs, right? Make it, reward yourself for sitting through this, whatever the heck this rally was. All the things, right? Appreciate it. I mean, if everybody told two people a while ago, right? That's how you get to be a New York Times bestseller. But yeah, I find the Chicago's futures industry doesn't have much historical record about it. We all hear about NYSE. You hear about the New York, floor traders, and you hear about the New York floors. You don't hear about the Chicago all too much. Because I'm telling you, it was even more ridiculous than whatever you imagine that was on Wall Street with South Street in Chicago. Was another step above, and that's just because futures are a little less regulated in terms of the stock market. Like it's just a wilder beast, attracts a different type of person. Chicago finance scene wasn't riddled with bus fund kids and Ivy League grads. It was high school and college dropouts and blue collar guys that found that stumbled into money, and it's just the stories are incredible. With all that being said, everybody, thank you for joining me this evening on the Sith Trader. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast/YouTube channel. Definitely helps me out a ton there. I'm trying to make that my thing, right? Looks like we're about to get that flush into the lows to kind of close out the evening and officially get a target filled here for the ForceSweep. We'll see you all again tomorrow at the New York Open. Remember, trading futures involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Everything you saw and hear today is just my own opinion, not trading advice. And gosh, I was hoping to be able to say target filled right there, but needless to say, that's close enough. What's a couple ticks between friends? Have a great night, everybody, and we'll see you all tomorrow.